What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video here on the Freak Flyers YouTube channel with the first comedy video I do. I would like to start this video by saying this is not an information video like I usually do, because you guys know I'm your #1 source of swoop and free fly and skydiving related information. Maybe I'm not, don't listen to me, or maybe do. But here we are doing a video, and this video is a bit different. It's the 9 types of swoopers that you'll see at the drop zone and a competition, all that sort of stuff. So this is just a little bit of me stereotyping different swoopers, different skydivers in general, but mostly swoopers in this video. So let's just laugh at our own mistakes, laugh at ourselves, and if you're not a swooper, you can laugh at us too, that's no problem. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first type of swooper you will meet is the non-cross brace guy. Now this guy, you might confuse him for a beginner because he's not jumping a cross brace canopy, but this is a totally different breed. There you are on the DZ, happy to finally get to jump a sub 100 after those torturous months on a peasant 120 plus canopy. And life is good. You're on your load and you see the usual suspects, and after an amazing angle jump, you look under you're under canopy, and you see an innocent looking Crossfire 3 that looks to be between 119 and 99 in size. And you think, I'm about to show this noob how it's done with my cross brace JFX. So you get ready to start your setup, and all of a sudden, holy crap! He sends a dirty low 450 turn, and instead of hitting the ground hard, you see his canopy swoop the whole landing area and flare so far it makes your JFX 94 look like a Sapphire 3 on a bad day. These dudes just can't stand the openings of regular cross-braced canopies, and they just can't jump on the bandwagon of hyper-performance, butter-smooth openings, so they decide to stay on these bigger 9cell platforms, and by God, they own their skills, and they show the kids on Hyper Wings how it's done. Our next contestant is the old-school swooper. Our next entry is a must-have for every DZ. He seems to always be there, even though you're not sure what his job is. Is he a camera flyer? Well, not with his GoPro Hero 2. Is he an AFF instructor? Well, I don't see his student. All you know is that when his canopy starts to whistle, everyone, especially the more experienced swoopers, come out to see his landing. They don't pull the fattest turns, and they don't do the longest swoops, but the sheer respect of seeing someone land a calm velocity, knowing that they have more jumps on that line set than you have in total, is something special. They know all the DZ swoop lines by heart, and they have seen some stuff. They were there when swoop was created, they saw the rise of the PD factory team and eventual demise, they saw the rise of the JVX, the rise of the Petra, and hopefully they'll see the rise of the Petra too. If you're lucky, he will comment on your turn and give you small pieces of advice that at first might sound confusing and unimportant, but as you gain experience, you'll understand why he said them. What does he mean when he says reduce my surface area during rollout? Why does he keep saying that making my wings smaller won't make my distance scores go up? Until you realize that all of that he says makes sense, and your respect for him just goes exponentially up. And if he sees you making a mistake, he will probably snitch to the safety and training advisor, unless he is the safety and training advisor. In that case, he'll just have a chill talk with you and he'll get you on your way. Next up, we have a special that's on every big drop zone. It's the Leia's all day guy. Now we all know this guy. He's sometimes a tunnel rat, but he has more experience in the sky than he has experience in the tunnel. He earned his Leia, he swoops it like it's an extension of his body. The way he flies his Leia and his proficiency on his canopy is not the trouble here. But you've told him countless times, dude, get a Petra. Dude, they do free fall. Dude, the Petra swoops for miles. And he just scoffs at you and says that the openings are too aggressive and he likes a more calm ride. But this confuses you. If he likes a calm ride, why is he jumping a sub 70 hybrid hyper performance wing doing 810s on every landing? Until in a sort of eureka moment, you see it. This dude is doing blind man switchblades in every landing. Doesn't matter the occasion. Camera jumps, Miracle Man switchblade. AFF with the fat student at pull at 1,500 feet, boomerang blind man. This dude has jumped all the wings and he knows that the Petra is fun, but can't freestyle for shit. He has done the math and figured out that the hybrid Leia flown by a pro will outperform a Petra flown by a tunnel rat. So he takes his Leia, flares it right in front of the bar, lays down a fat lazy boy Ghost Rider, while he stares all the ladies right in the eye, your girlfriend included, and stands up the landing every time. God bless the Leia Free Flyer. Next up, a kind of common jumper, it's the study beginner. This fine specimen has studied all there is to study about wings, containers, swoop history, swoop theory, and has committed all the books, articles, and videos about the subject to memory. He knows everything there is to know and will sometimes overestimate his abilities because of it. He will gladly correct you in a discussion about wings. Actually, Performance Designs does not make a Katana 90, only a 89 or 83. Most of the times, however, these guys have seen enough Sophie Darp videos to know better, to take it slow and to listen to their coach. They will be present in all Flight 1 courses at their DZ and follow the rules like Christians follow the Bible, ignoring what doesn't look good to them. Even though I'm roasting them in this video, I vastly prefer them over our next entry, which is the Careless Beginner. This dude is 100% zero fucks given. Pulls up to the DZ with a fresh C license, a Facebook sales group Crossfire 2 complete with Icarus Canopy's logo, swoop shorts with RDS pocket even though his wing does not have an RDS, only has channel slider, and rocking some precision engineering altimeter from Alti2 that they got at DZ Rentals. Banned from 4 drop zones already, this dude is looking for somewhere that will allow him to practice his 270s over the pond. The experienced swoopers are trying to slow my progression with their crappy conservative advice. They only want me to upsize and stop my turns because they're afraid I'll outperform them in the next upcoming CP opening I'm training for. Yeah, dude, that's it. Do me a favor, pack your things. You're not jumping your Crossfire 99 here. I'll rent you a Safari 3 169, no problem, if you want to. Next up, and this is one of my personal favorites, it's the Shit Wing Guy. The Shit Wing Guy is a close cousin to the Leia Free Flyer. You won't see him organizing the events though, you definitely see him participating in them. He's sleeping on his van behind the hangar, comes to DZ bright and early every day with a fresh hangover, a t-shirt of some underground event you've never been to, ripped up swoop pants that look like they came straight out of an 80s movie, and on his back, a beat-up rig, maybe an original Javelin or even a Vector 2 that their rigger friend tortured into becoming free fly friendly, and they are ready to send it. This guy flies well, that's not the point. You see him on every big way dynamic angle jump, and he's friends with all the cool cats. But how are his landings, you wonder? You take a look at the skies as everyone is landing and you see him rocking that OG JVX 69 full sail with 1,000+ jumps, never wet new line set that he got off of Facebook for $500. And he pulls a fat 1080, complete with very sketching yet surprisingly freestyle tricks, throwing down cowboys, knack-knacks, tick jockeys, and the occasional blind man to spice up the landing area. Yeah, they might have janky gear, and yeah, they might smell like beer and sweat in the morning, but these dudes got the spirit, and they're the most friendly people you'll ever meet in the DZ. Next up, and the complete opposite, is the 90s on a Valkyrie dude. This guy raises questions. Most of them start with why. They show up to the DZ with a squeaky clean Vector 3 and the latest and greatest helmet technology from Cookie, the top of the line altimeters, and a suit so white it almost blinds you from the reflection of the sun. Inside that Vector 3 size 300, you see a gorgeous Leia 69, and she's been around the block sometimes. She has some good life in her because he's put about 700 jumps on her. And when he finally jumps, you're curious to see if he fits any of the last categories I mentioned. He starts his setup and you're thinking to yourself, oh, he's about to do 810. Okay, that's probably a bit too low for the 810. Maybe a 450? He's not in any sort of position for a 450, maybe a 270. And to your disappointment, you see that this dude is actually landing like a student. Well, maybe it's the first jump and he's not pushing it. Well, second jump rolls along and the same story repeats. Only this time he makes a crappy double front 90. Excuse me, but why are you on your canopy that's capable of doing sub 3 second speed runs and you're landing it like one of my canopy students? Well, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with 90s, but I can see your Valkyrie cry every time you get her all fired up by touching the fronts and then give her the canopy equivalent of blue balls by throwing a 90-degree turn at 800 feet. Next up, and a close cousin to our last entry, but way cooler, is the Super Mega Sponsored dude. The Super Mega Sponsored dude is a rare breed. They're so rare, in fact, it's hard to make a video about them or make a segment about them without actually mentioning individuals, but here we go. You'll find them on the biggest drop zones that have a pond. How can you tell they're Mega Sponsored? Well, simple. Look at their weight belt. If they're carrying only 10 kilograms instead of 16 kilograms on their weight belt, because the rest of the weight comes from the amount of embroidered logos they have, that's the sponsored guy. You'll see them walking around, talking to everyone, and they are super chill dudes. They will talk to you about issues that you can't really understand. Oh man, I just can't seem to stick that Miracle Man switchblade. And you listen to these so-called problems, and you wonder if you should just sell your JVX, give up swooping, and take up CRW. Their suits are full of logos, their gear is always full options, top of the line, and brand new, and you aspire to be like them. Deep down, you feel bad for them, having to carry all that weight around in trainings and competitions, being a marketing tool, etc. Just kidding, they love it and you would take up their job anytime. And finally, one of my favorites, not because of how good they are, but because of how funny it is. the Lost Free Flyer. The Lost Free Flyer is quite a recent breed of swoopers. These dudes are professional tunnel flyers and they own their skills in the tunnel. You can't lie. And there are some load organizers as well. But they forget that the tunnel does not teach you how to fly a wing. Nonetheless, these bastards are organizing loads because they're friends with all the cool free flyers. And they have a bunch of sponsors and manage to get a crazy fast and small wing. They'll justify it by saying, oh, the pack volume was smaller and I needed something that I could fit in my Vector 303. Or even, well, the openings of the Leia are super consistent and smooth and I just couldn't manage the flare on my velocity. True story, I've seen these guys justify downsizing to a Leia because it will help them flare better and stand up their landings. Yeah, so will upsizing to a crossfire and getting a coach, but whatever. Nonetheless, they will eventually get a good scare that makes them realize that they're in a dangerous position, and with the help and advice from other pro friends, they will either upsize or at least get some canopy coaching. Hooray! So guys, these were the 9 entries. There are a lot more types of skydivers, types of swoopers. I'll probably make more videos, part 2s, part 3s, whatever. But let me know if you guys enjoy these types of videos, a little bit of comedy. Again, if you have any questions or complimentary information, you can ask them in the comment section down below. You can like, subscribe the video, send this video to your friends and tell them, oh dude, you are the janky swooper, dude, you're the Lost Free Flyer, yeah. And we can all have a laugh at this because I love having a laugh at skydiving things. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.